Hi, dear friends. Happy Sunday. So happy to have you zooming in with us. I'm Stephanie Dalfonzo, and I would love for you to pop in and say hi. Let me know where you are tuning in from. And especially, I want you to say hi because when we hear someone say our name, when we hear someone say our name correctly, it stimulates our brain in a way that then starts our brain to start producing dopamine and serotonin, which are the happy hormones. So please let me see in the chat, just say hi, tuning in from wherever you are. And if you want to say how you're doing today, that's great too. I just want to make sure that I say your name because when we hear our name and it's correct, I mean, first of all, don't you like, ooh, that feels really good. Now we know that there's science behind it, that when I say your name correctly, oh, your brain starts producing the dopamine and serotonin, which are the happy hormones. And Vicky, hello from France. Vicky, I'm so grateful for you tuning in today. And thank you for letting me stimulate your brain to give you a little dopamine and serotonin boost. Evelyn, am I saying it correctly from California? If I am not, please give me a phonetic spelling in the comments section because I really want to make sure that I say it right. So hopefully, Evelyn, I'm saying it correctly. Yes, yay. Fantastic. Thank you. And doesn't it feel good? I bet with a name like Evelyn, which is a beautiful name, but I bet people kind of sometimes mess it up, right? And people don't usually mess up my first name, but boy, with a last name like Dalfonzo, I guarantee you, people are always not saying it the right way. And well, you just kind of roll with it. But when you hear it and it's right, I've been married for 40 years. We just celebrated our 40th anniversary. Like, how did that happen? And my husband's name is Michael. He's always gone by Michael. But through the years, people want to call him Mike, Mickey, whatever. And it's just not the same. Sarah, hello from Michigan. Hello and welcome. Sarah, I don't know if you heard me say when I first tuned in, the reason I'm asking you guys to say hi is so I can say your name and welcome you because science backs it up. Science says, oh, when I say your name and when I say it correctly, it lights up your brain and gets your brain to start producing dopamine and serotonin. You know, I am always looking for simple little ways to boost how we're feeling. So hopefully you are feeling good today. Excuse me one second. We are enjoying still some summer weather here in Connecticut, and it was a little bit warm, so I wanted to put the fan on. Jill, hi, Jill. Hello from Perth, Australia. Michelle, hello from Texas. Oh, my dear, I love dopamine too. I think that, there's so many ways that we can find dopamine and get dopamine hits, and a lot of them are maybe not the most friendly to us. So we find easy ways to boost our dopamine and serotonin. And so, Michelle, Jill, Sarah, Evelyn, and let me back up because I know there was somebody before you. Oh, and my things not working there. Who was before Evelyn? Vicky from France. So we've got people from all over the world. We've got France, we've got Perth, Australia, we've got Michigan and Texas. I'm so glad you're here today, and I hope you had a good week. And I am looking. Hi, Jessica. Great. Welcome back. So glad to have you here. I'm not sure you were here last week, and I missed you, Jessica. So hello. I'm so glad you're here. So, one of the things that I really want you to understand today, we're talking about how to be more present in the moment. And I really want you to understand that all of these things that I share with you, I've tried them, I've tested them, not just on my clients, but on moi, right? Because there's a million different possibilities of what we can do. And as I said to my husband, I forget what he said earlier today. We were at the beach for a little while today, and he said something, and I said, well, if Baskin Robbins only had vanilla, some of us would be very disappointed, right? Baskin Robbins, for those of you outside the States, it's an ice cream shop here in the U.S., and it has 31 flavors and always has. And I love talking about that store because they offer 31 flavors because one flavor isn't everybody's favorite, right? So the more I can find ways that work, whether they work for me or they work for a client, the more ways I can give you to be able to find what works best for you. That's what my goal is. So today we're talking about how to be more present in the moment. We're going to cover what the benefits of being present in the moment are. I will share simple strategies, simple practices that you can start today and this week to get more present, to find out and feel those benefits in your life. And then we're going to wrap it up with a little meditation at the end to really kind of seal it in there. So before we get diving in, anybody else with us that wants to go ahead and say hi, so I can say hi and say your name and give you a little dopamine and serotonin hit? Oh, that is funny, Evelyn. So funny. I used to know a psychiatrist who only ate French vanilla. And, we all have our preferences. And the whole reason I love to think about this as a buffet, I'm going to offer you all these different strategies. So, Tea Lady Nat, hello. Nice to see you here as well. Awesome. All right. So, let's go ahead and actually get present in this moment. French vanilla is fancy, though. It isn't just plain vanilla. You're right, Michelle. That's awesome. I'm going to set my timer here for just 1 minute, and I want us to spend a good minute and just get present. So we're going to go ahead and start. And this is when I would ask you to just go ahead and maybe step away from the keyboard for a moment. But first, let me say hi again to Vicky and her big gritty face. And if you would, close your eyes because it can help block out those distractions. And if your mind's still a little busy, just let them come to a soft gaze. And notice your breath. Just follow the inhale and the exhale. Perhaps noticing the inhale and exhale through your nostrils. Perhaps noticing the rise and fall of your chest or your belly. And when the distracting thoughts come, as you know they will, just bring your awareness back to this present moment, to this breath. And there we are, 1 minute, and we got present. So all present and accounted for. Fantastic. Again, I'm so happy that you're here today. So what are some of the benefits of getting present? I would love for you to go ahead and type in what you think are benefits of getting present. I will tell you that for me in my life, inner peace is the biggest benefit that I have gotten from finding simple strategies to connect and get more present. So, I've done all the research on this, and getting present in the moment helps reduce stress and improve our mental health. Woo! Let's all put high fives up for that. And I just saw a lot of hearts for that too. Yeah, it helps our mental health. It cuts down on anxiety and worry and rumination. And anxiety, I've heard, is, oh, yeah, we're worrying about what might happen. And most of the time it doesn't, but still we worry about it. Or we're stuck in that rumination and the worry and the shame and the blame and all of that's about stuff that happened in the past that we can't do anything about. So when we come into the present moment, it allows us to calm the stress down. It also helps. Thank you, Jessica. Simplicity. That's what I love for you. I do make everything accessible. Thank you so much. I really try very hard to do that. And yes, Vicki, no worries about the past or future because it doesn't do any good, right? So we have this present moment. In addition to helping to reduce stress, it helps improve our focus. And when we improve our focus, and if you remember, I touched on focus a couple weeks ago with lemon essential oil. So here's something else that you can stack in there. Lemon essential oil is the oil of focus. So that is something that can help you quickly enhance your focus when you're coming into the present moment. And then that focus helps with improved relationships. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, because we're improving our social skills, because we're listening. I've said a million times that I think that we have two ears and one mouth for a reason, right? We're supposed to listen more than we talk. So when we are focusing, when we're with someone else, and we are not paying attention to our phones instead of the person and what they're saying, when we're paying attention, when we're actually listening to what someone else is saying, instead of already into the future, what am I going to say to respond? What am I going to say to respond? Then we do have those improved relationships and improved social skills. So maybe that's something you want to play around with in this. Lemon oil also gets the sticky gunk off the stickers. Yes. So it gets you unstuck and focused on the present. Let me read that again because that was brilliant, Jessica. Lemon oil also gets sticky gunk off of like the stickers. And so it gets us unstuck and focused on the present. That is so smart, Jessica. Yes, I love that, and I will be borrowing that. Tea Lady Nat carries lemongrass essential oil spritz that you made in your purse. Very smart. You can bring these oils and lemongrass. They're also very, very inexpensive when it comes to some of these essential oils are very expensive, but they're worth it. Lemongrass and lemon essential oil are very inexpensive and they're so good. Oh, very good for tension headaches. That's one new one for me, Michelle. Thanks. And thank you because somebody just said, ooh, I get tension headaches, and now they're going to check out lemongrass. See, I love how we can all support each other. Thank you, Michelle. I love that you shared that with us. So we can also, by getting present, it helps with increased productivity, with increased memory. And am I the only one with all of this, with all of these distractions with our devices and all of that? I feel like my memory and my focus is just nowhere near what it used to be. So we can increase our productivity and memory and performance. And if you are an employee, an employer, this is really important for you to understand that each distraction can cost us up to 25 minutes of lost productivity. That, like 25 minutes to help us get back to center. Think about how many distractions in an 8-hour day, right? And each distraction can take us 25 minutes to come back to center. So we want to be practicing and practicing and practicing. Now, this one I love. I love because it has helped me so, so much over these past several years in my life. And I think it's going to be an eye-opener for many of you today. So, getting present in the moment reduces cravings. Seriously. There was a research study, and I haven't been able to track down the origins of this, but a research study that worked with overweight and obese people for 28 days. And they had them meditate for 10 minutes a day. Okay. Even if you don't have a meditation practice already in place, you could probably do 10 minutes a day, right? 28 days. They had people meditate for just 10 minutes a day, and at the end of those 28 days, they reported a 40% reduction in cravings. That's wild, isn't it? A 40% reduction in cravings. And they were working on food, right? They were working with people who were overweight or obese. A 40% reduction in cravings. How do you think that's going to translate into their physical well-being? So for me personally, I've shared this before, in 2020, I, like a lot of people, was losing it, right? And I realized I wasn't moving my body very much. So I started walking. I started getting more steps. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is good. You know what else I wanted to do was stop drinking alcohol. Ooh, okay. So when I would have my trigger at 5 o'clock, it was like 5 o'clock. Oh, go open the bottle of wine. And instead, at 5 o'clock, I would go and meditate. And it has been 3 years now since I've had any alcohol, and I have no cravings. So I'm not making any guarantees. I don't make any guarantees. I don't diagnose, prescribe, or treat anything. But I invite you to play with this coming week. Think about an addiction that you may have. And it could be like, I have addictions that I'm fine with. I am addicted to riding my bike. You know, when I dislocated my shoulder a couple weeks ago and couldn't ride my bike, oof, that was like, so that's an addiction, but it's not one that I want to get rid of because it's actually very good for me. But do you have an addiction in your life? It may be an addiction to checking your email or checking, whatever. It doesn't have to be, what could be considered a bad habit, right? Whether it is smoking, drinking, whatever. Just think about, and probably something small. What if you were to add in 10 minutes of meditation a day for the coming 7 days? What do you think that might do? And if you have certain patterns like I used to have where 5 o'clock was, oh, I go and open the bottle of wine. Oh, now 5 o'clock is, oh, I go meditate, right? So think about where you might be able to ease that into your repertoire this coming week. Let me see. Jessica says, yes, we rely on our tools to tell us what's on our agenda, which has made me miss appointments if I forget to put them in my calendar. I started doing a check-in with myself on Sunday for the week ahead, and I'm so glad you're checking in with us on Sunday, Jessica, so you can put to memory what's coming up so you're not relying on your phone to tell me. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And Lori asked, I wonder what they consider meditation in the study. That is a very good question because, meditation can be, a million different things. And when they're doing a research study like that, they are having them all do the exact same thing because otherwise, the research study, then it's not pure science. So that's a good question, Lori. I'm not sure. More than likely, I would bet that they probably had a recorded guided meditation that they listened to. But find what works for you. We have, I think it's over 250,000 free meditations here on Insight Timer. And I've got several. I have several that I have put up. Some of them are things that I have shared with you in recent classes. So feel you're not great at traditional meditation, Lori. So you know what? There is no such thing as traditional meditation. Whatever works for you, right? As we go through these steps now of how to get present, that's meditation, right? So for me, everybody has their own definition of meditation. But for me, when I can get mindful, when I can get present in the moment, I think I'm meditating. And if somebody thinks it's something different, that's okay. It's what works for you. Exactly, Jessica. Like the 31 flavors at Baskin Robbins, there are lots of different meditations. And there are lots of simple ways. Notice I'm saying simple. Not necessarily easy, but simple ways to get present. All of these have zero side effects, and they're all free. So why not take advantage of this? I'm going to run through some different options, see which ones or one pops up for you. And then when we get to the meditation, we'll focus in on which strategy you want to work on for this coming week. So again, these are not necessarily easy, only because just because they're simple, we have to practice, right? How many times do you hear me every week? I'm talking about habits become habits. Why? Yes, I could hear you saying out of practice and repetition. So these are all simple, but you got to practice them to make them easy, right? So the first one I'm going to talk about is from Mindful Magazine. They talk about the art of being present, ART. The A is for activities: walking, biking, cooking. Those would be my top three. And if you are into cooking and you want to learn more about mindful cooking, please find my friend Melanie Underwood here on Insight Timer. She does some incredible, incredible lives where she is doing mindful cooking and intuitive baking, and she makes it a lot of fun. And I absolutely adore her and I adore cooking. So, again, activities, whether it's walking, biking, cooking, which is for me, knitting. I do not have that talent. My daughter knits absolutely exquisite things, and it is very, very meditative and mindful for her. Golfing, gardening, whatever your activities are, you can help to get present with them instead of like for when I was biking this morning, I was, I'm like riding the same little place every time, but I'm looking and in the grass, I'm saying, oh, isn't that sweet? There's these teeny tiny little blue flowers. I stopped my bike, got off to go over and look at it. So whatever your activities are, you can find ways to get present in that. Our routines, our housework, the dishes, the laundry, the vacuuming, stuff that those are not my favorite things to do. But wow, when you're doing the dishes, instead of thinking about your to-do list or, mulling over something that happened and you wish went differently, what if you instead were just present to the water coming out of the faucet and the bubbles? Or if you are vacuuming, really focusing on the back and forth of moving the vacuum cleaner, right? These are just little ways to play with getting present with our activities. R for routines, and T for when we most need to get present, when we are triggered, right? And the way that we remember to use these strategies when we're triggered is by practicing them when we're not being triggered, right? We need to build up those neural patterns so that when we get triggered, it's not like, okay, now I'm triggered. Oh, wait, let me go look up, right? It's way too late then. So when we build up these practices in our everyday life, then when we get triggered, like, well, I get triggered and I'm not 100% with this, trust me, right? But I don't get triggered nearly as much as I used to. And a lot of that is from what I'm sharing with you. I've also been studying, I've been a Course in Miracles student for 3 years now, 4 years now. Also, I'm a student of Michael Singer's Living Untethered. And it's really about getting present and then being in that observer position so that when somebody triggers me, when something happens, an event happens, or someone does something and it triggers me, I have these tools at the ready. And that's what I want for you most, is that you have these tools. I share all these different things so you find 2 or maybe 3 that really work for you and practice them again and again and again. So that is The Art of Being Present from Mindful Magazine. ART, activities, routines, and triggers. Thank you for all those hearts. I love them. Thank you, and I love you for being here. Thank you so much. And so I just expressed gratitude. And I'm always talking about gratitude because it changes lives. It has definitely changed my life. And again, a couple of weeks ago, I dislocated my shoulder, and it's given me a whole new perspective on how to help my clients who deal with chronic pain. I have much different and deeper understanding what it is to deal with pain, because I was in excruciating pain at the beginning with this, and I'm still not 100%, but I'm always looking for what's right now. So trust me, when I was in excruciating pain, because I dislocated my shoulder, I had to work really hard at this one. It didn't just come naturally, like, oh, okay, that's right. What's right now? I was like, ah. But I was, okay, what's right now? I was really freaked out because I have horrible health insurance. And I was so scared I was going to need surgery and it was going to be a very big, expensive bill. And so I kept, okay, what's right now? Phew. What's right now is that I am healing. I'm doing everything I know to heal this, and I'm not going to have to spend all that money on surgery. So that was an extreme, like that was a big thing. But then it's okay, what's right now? Like how absolutely, this is definitely a 1% problem. Sitting on the beach yesterday, and some people came near us, and it's September, so there's not a lot of people on the beach, but they had to come and sit right near us, and they were very, very loud. And so I had a choice. I could sit there and stew about it, or I could say, what's right now? Oh, my chair's portable. So we got up and moved, right? So I want you to think about that. In every situation, you can always find something, no matter how dire the situation is. What's right now? I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm safe. I'm healthy. So think about that. Number two on this is serious. Take a digital timeout. My husband and I were talking about this earlier today. I definitely am like the granny in the room, because I remember before we had cell phones. And yeah, thank you, Lori. I love that. What's right now? And Lori, I'm going to put you on the spot. What's right now in your life? I'd love you to type it in the chat. And anybody else who wants to put in the chat, what's right for you right now? So, this digital timeout, I'm addicted to my phone as much as anybody else is. And I really force myself to step away from that, because I don't think it's healthy to be, they are designed to be addictive, and they are. So I really force myself to, especially like at the beach. At the beach, sometimes I'll find myself like, oh, what am I doing? Stop, put that away, and get present. Get present to the sound of the waves, to the sound of the seagulls, right? So my cup is full of good drinking water. Yes, me too, Michelle. Oh, your dog is resting beside you. Your cat is in the other room. All is well in your world. Yay, Michelle. I'm so happy to hear that. Jessica, oh, fantastic. What's right now? Your son and you got COVID this week, but you got time to rest. I'm sorry that you got COVID and your son, Jessica, but I am so happy that you got to rest, and I hope that you're feeling much, much better. Lori, the cuddly kitten sleeping in my lap, even though she's very sick. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's so right that we are loving each other despite anything else. Oh, that is so sweet, Lori, and let's just all send her kitty and Jessica and her son really good, healthy vibes. May you be happy. This is to all of you. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. If you remember, I did that the other week with our 333 rule for anxiety, which we're going to get to in just a moment. I want to talk about breath practices. Always, that's like my first go-to, is because you're here at this live winding down after a stressful day. Yay, Michelle, I'm so glad you're here, and thank you for sharing that. And didn't it feel good to hear your name? For those of you who joined, who were not here at the beginning, if you go ahead and put something in the chat, this way I can say your name, and then it's going to get your brain to start producing dopamine and serotonin, which are the happy hormones. So put your name in there so I can say hi to you. So breath practices. It could be as simple as, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And if you notice, I just held that exhale for longer than the inhale. So if you remember, I'm always talking about extend the exhale, because when we can extend the exhale twice as long as the inhale, then it's getting, again, triggering our brain, and it's telling our brain we're safe. And then the brain sends the signals, oh, okay, we can relax. So always find your breath. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Extending the exhale twice as long. Heart breathing. The Heart Math Institute has been studying this for over 30 years. I think they started in 1991. There are 5,000 times more electromagnetic currents in our heart than in our brain. So, really, our heart is a lot more powerful than we are aware of. Hi, Mary. And all beings, so glad you are here. And Michelle, so glad you are here from Salem, Oregon. Melissa from Salem, Oregon. I used to live in Tualatin, so I used to be your neighbor in Oregon. All right, so back to heart breathing. You can simply notice I'm putting my hand on my heart. And you don't have to do that, but I find it helps just ground me a little bit more. And you can, even if you're in the midst of something and somebody's triggering you, you can certainly just put your hand on your heart or not and just imagine breathing in and breathing out of your heart. Breathing in, breathing out. And maybe that's your meditation. I forget who mentioned earlier, like what form of meditation they did in that research study. I don't know, but this is one way of meditating in and out of your heart. It then tells your brain, oh, we're safe. The brain says, oh, we're safe. It's okay to relax. And aren't these simple? They're so simple, but they're not easy until we make them a habit. And how do we do that? That's right, through repetition and practice. So, in addition to breathing, exhaling twice as long, doing our heart breathing, we can do square breathing or box breathing. And I won't go through the whole thing right now, but, and I don't remember if I've uploaded that track yet or not. If I haven't, I'm sure somebody on Insight Timer has a track, or find me on my profile and send me a note, and I can send it back to you. So square breathing or box breathing is just breathing around a square, and we inhale to the count of 4, hold to the count of 4, exhale to the count of 4, and hold to the count of 4. So again, these are things to practice before we get triggered, so that when we get triggered, we remember it. Also, yoga. Yoga has been such a game changer for me. I've been practicing yoga for about 10 years now, and I am a certified yoga teacher. Never planned on teaching classes. It was really just to take my practice deeper, and oh my gosh, yoga has changed my life. It has allowed me to get more present. It has allowed me to learn that yoga is not just about being flexible on the mat, it's about being flexible in life. And I'm sure you know, we have a lot of amazing yoga teachers here on Insight Timer. Two of my favorites are Hannah Brown. She does the most fun, delicious, gentle, perfect class on Saturday night. Jessica's saying, love Hannah. Yes, she's the cutest. She really is. She's so fun, and it is a great class. Whether you're a beginner or you are a lifelong yogi, she does great classes on Saturday night. And then Liza Culpa does beautiful classes, yoga classes on Sunday morning. So I would just ask, if you're not a yogi, if you're not a regular yoga practitioner, when you're looking for a class here on Insight Timer, just make sure you see where it says, for all levels, right? Because you don't want to take, oh, I like that. Michelle has been taking part of a challenge, just one yoga position a day. That's awesome. And it is a great place to start, right? One yoga practice, one yoga position a day. And then you figure, you get to the end of a week, you've done 7 yoga poses. You get the end of a month. You see where I'm going with this? Habits, practice, and repetition. So we've got art, activities, routines, and triggers, gratitude, what's right now. We have take a digital time out. Even if you just start with, all right, I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes and walk away from my phone. But you got to take those digital timeouts. Breath practices, holding the exhale twice as long. Heart breathing, square breathing. Ooh, Tea Lady Nat finally got to an in-person yoga class last week. First one since 2020. Yay, Tea Lady Nat. That must have felt really awesome. So, and then we've got yoga and, of course, meditation. And we will do meditation to wrap all this up and give you the impetus that this coming week you practice, whether it's practicing one yoga position a day, like Michelle has been doing, or you practice one of these, I would say just pick one or two to practice this week and practice them every single day. And notice how much more present. Notice how much less triggered you might be at the end of just 7 days. So go ahead and get yourself comfortable. Again, if you're comfortable with it, close your eyes, just because it helps block out some of the visual distractions. Or you can go ahead and let them come to a soft gaze. I'm going to, I don't know if it's Faik or I don't know how to say your name, and please give me a phonetic spelling so I say it correctly. Hi, Stephanie, and all kind hearted folks here. Yes, on Insight Timer, I think we are all kind hearted folks. Question on breathing exercises. My friends say they feel like BD. I don't understand what that means. So if you would, Faik, tell me if I'm saying your name correctly, or if not, how to say it, and clarifying for that. Tea Lady Nat, it was great. I've been practicing at home regularly. Awesome. They feel disturbed. Well, I'm not sure. I would have to talk with the person and see what's going on with them. Again, if somebody's saying that they feel disturbed with that breath practice, I'd say, okay, how about this one, right? So take what I'm offering, think of it as a buffet that I'm offering all these different options, and you're going to find what's right for you. So again, if you're comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes or let them come to a soft gaze. And as I count from 10 down to 1, you do you. Imagine perhaps that you're going down a staircase, an elevator, an escalator. 10. Perhaps imagining slipping into a nice warm bath. 9. Letting each number down. 8. Relax you even more beautifully. 7. Perhaps finding that little spot between your eyebrows. It might be a little scrunched up, and letting them relax and release any tension. 6. Extending that to your entire face, feeling your face, the muscles go slack, then released. 5, we're only halfway down. Give yourself permission to go even deeper down. That's right. 4, feeling your muscles in your shoulders and neck relax, spilling down your arms into your hands and fingertips, gently washing down from your shoulders, your upper back, middle back, lower back. 3, down to your hips and pelvis. 2, all the way down through your legs, your knees, your lower legs, ankles, feet, and toes. 2, as if you could double your relaxation now. And 1, finding yourself deeply relaxed, deeply relaxed. Finding that everything that I say simply guides your beautiful mind to help you relax even more deeply. Becoming open like a beautiful, thirsty sponge to soak up all the suggestions I'm going to give you now. Allowing your beautiful mind to encode deep, deep in your subconscious, unconscious mind all the suggestions I've given you so far of ways to get present, these different options of getting present during our activities, routines, so we're ready when the triggers come up. To start practicing when we're triggered, when we're not triggered. What's right now? And that's a great one for you to practice with other people, whether it's friends or coworkers. If you're a parent, you still have children at home, I think it'd be a great one for the witching hour. Okay, time out. What's right now? Oh, and you remember, that's right, she talked about a digital timeout. How much time do I spend on my phone? Oh, yeah, perhaps I could use a digital timeout. And where's the easiest place for me to start with that? Because I don't have to do it all in one fell swoop, do I? Phew, isn't that a relief? Oh, perhaps I could start incorporating more breath practices this week so that when somebody cuts me off as I'm driving down the highway, instead of I can simply breathe in and out. And in that instance, that is a perfect way to, what's right now? They cut me off and I'm still safe. I was able to react quickly to avoid. And then I was able to respond and come to my breath. We can do heart breathing, breathing in and out of our heart. We can do square breathing. We can practice yoga, whether it's practicing one pose a day, or taking a class here on Insight Timer, or an in-person class like somebody did this week. Take a few moments. If your monkey mind is bringing in other distracting thoughts, come back to your breath. And notice of the different options I outlined. Notice which ones seem to be like, ooh, that's the one I'll do. And then, you know how we make commitments to other people? And of course, we're going to honor that. We're going to come through, whether it's with friends or coworkers or family members. Sure, we make sure and honor those commitments. But just between you and me, we don't always honor the commitments to ourselves, do we? So I'm going to invite you to really rest your awareness in your heart space now. And imagine you could rest right in that space in your beautiful heart where you honor commitments to others. And you make a commitment to yourself. I commit to whichever of these practices to get present this coming week work for you. I commit to take a digital time out every day for the next 7 days. Or I commit to finding what's right now, at least 5 times a day or more. Or I commit to practicing square breathing or heart breathing each and every day for the next 7 days. Take a few more moments and make sure that you're committing to something that's achievable. I'm not asking you to, all right, now let's plan on doing an hour meditation a day. That might be a little more than we could actually do. I want you to be successful with this. So go ahead and make that commitment. And then you may want to put your hand on your heart and say, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And notice how you feel. Maybe a little excitement about the coming week ahead and how it's going to feel to get more present, getting more in the flow. So with that excitement, begin to make small movements, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe start stretching your body a little bit more. Maybe you feel like doing a full body stretch, like when you first wake up in the morning. And come back, opening your eyes, practicing a little face yoga, turning up the corners of your mouth for a beautiful smile. And I'd love to hear which one of these suggestions, options I shared, which one are you going to commit to for this coming week? Because you know, I say it every week, right? You type it in the chat here, you have a 65% chance, greater chance of actually achieving it. And if you, Jill saying she's going to do what's right now. Awesome, Jill. And Jessica says, I agree. Great ladies. Jill, Jessica, what is right now for you? So 65% Tea Lady Nat, Lori, they're all in on what's right now. This is awesome. So 65% chance that you ladies are all going to. All right, Joanne, to complete your will today. Fantastic. Remember, do that and be gentle with yourself. Super self-care. Love that, Tea Lady Nat. Michelle and Sarah, awesome. What's right now? Philippa, I'm sorry if I'm not saying it right. Meditate daily, even if 5 minutes of meta. Yes, I love that because when we start, 5 minutes a day, it doesn't have to be 20 minutes a day of meditation or an hour a day. 5 minutes a day is a great place to start. And so you do 5 minutes a day for 7 days, and then maybe next week you think, well, I did five, maybe I'll bump it up to seven. It's up to you. So awesome. I hope you will come back next week and share how this worked for you. As you know, like all the classes here on Insight Timer, they are all donation based. And even more so than a financial donation, what I love the hearts, I absolutely adore the hearts. That is so precious to me. And also, please, if you would find, go to my profile. If you go to the corner, you'll see a little picture of me and it says live under it. Click on that. It will take you to my teacher page here on Insight Timer, and it will show you the different tracks I have. Please listen to at least one, give it a good rating and review this week, not just to help me, but it is to help us. I really look at us as like we're dropping a little pebble in a still body of water. And the more we find our calm, the more it's going to ripple out. And we will have an effect on more and more people. So that would be my greatest desire, is if this week you would go and find one of my tracks here on Insight Timer and give it a good rating and review to help more people join us in our quest to get present and find our calm. Also, when you go to my teacher profile, you can find my link tree, and it's got the recordings, a way for you to find the recordings of all of the classes I've done so far here on Insight Timer. Jessica, I can't wait to see you next week either. And thank you. Thank you. Mwah. I appreciate you showing up. I appreciate you participating. And if nobody else has told you, I love you. Have a great week.